All right, so I'm super excited today. I'm here with Indy Chung. I have actually, he's been in my orbit, or I've been in his orbit, or however you want to call it, for a while now. We're seeing his wonderful art, surreal art, which has always been super interesting to me. And yeah, so I'm super excited to be interviewing you today because I have so many questions about, yeah, so much about the process of how you of your artistic process, and you know what topics sort of feed into your art and everything. So I'm very grateful that you're here on the show today. Indy Chung is an artist and has a background as a psychiatric nurse, and as it says on his profile, he brings flavors of spirituality and mental wellness in art, which I think is really, really super interesting and important. And as well as I love what you mentioned on your website about the creativity of my work is not to get into the hearts of the reader, but into the deep realms of their mind. So thank you, Indy, for being on the podcast today. Super excited.
Thank you very much. Lovely introduction, and I'm super excited to be here. And yeah, I think we've been in each other's orbit, just been missing each other, and today we finally got the chance to actually meet. And I'm thankful for the opportunity and getting ready to dive down into deep waters of exploration and
Yes.
creativity.
Fantastic. Oh, yeah. I'm excited as well. So, I guess like the first question for me that comes to mind is like, tell me a little bit more about what you mean about the creativity of my work is not to get into the hearts of the reader, but in the deep realms of their mind. What's your
Mm.
intention with that, with your art?
Um, I think as my art evolved, or as when I was in high school and creating art, in GCSE art, you'd get normally given a topic, and such as, let's say, music, for example, and you as an artist are supposed to go back, research, and create a whole artwork theme over that over a course, um, and then create a given piece. And I've always wanted to create some thought-provoking art that questions things, that makes you think. I just didn't want to create just a beautiful piece, for example, that someone really enjoyed. I wanted them to sit there and think, and um, why did he come up with this? What I was always curious of linking things together, and I've luckily, as my art has evolved, that's still a key theme. I link a lot of things. Um, so I guess the key for me is that when someone looks at my art, I just like them to be in that reflection mode, in a state of hypnosis, you can say, but in a very focused, reflective way,
Mm.
introspection of themselves through
Mm.
my art.
Wow. What do you feel is that what's brought out that part of you, or when has this, I guess, spirituality come out through you, or has it always been there? You tell me, like, what's that desire to share um that with people, for them to be in a space of introspection? Yeah, I'm curious, how did this start for you?
I think I'm fortunate in one way through my religious background, which is Sikhism, and with my family and by myself, I was always going to the Gurdwara on a Sunday, most religious days. You know, just there in a state of focus, meditation, and I think that also just evolved and being curious and getting into, let's say, certain things, not the best of things in life sometimes, and in good situation, in worse situations. And that's always evolved and shaped me to who I am right now. Um, I've just been curious, and I think over time, again, that key element of reflection has been a key theme in my life, and I just wanted that to be reflected to others, not imposed in any way, but just that sometimes we got to step out of where we are and just reflect on things.
Mm.
Um, and that falls down to probably responsibility as well. And in just shaping I've always had a human desire, a personal desire to kind of shape myself into being a better version of myself. Um, and that constant involvement has just been spoken through my art.
Mm. Mm. Yes, no, and that's wonderful. I think um it really shows through your art, and also I think through, we haven't spoken yet in person. I know this is online, but um that aspect that you just shared, I think I can really feel that energy through the work that you do, and also how you're showing up online, just as a side note. But yeah, that's beautiful. So how did you start with your art in particular? Like,
Mm.
when did that happen as well, for you? Was it always there, or?
Yeah, surprisingly, I think it's always been there. I loved it in UK there's a school system of, you go to primary school. To be honest, I don't even know what age that is, but it finishes from year 1 to year 6, and then you go to high school, which is year 7 to year 11. Then there's A level, which is 12 to 13, and then you go to university. So in primary school at a young age, I've always maintained art. I've always was drawing. I think I entered a competition in year 5, year 6, which I came third. I can't remember, bronze. Well, yeah, I think that's third.
Mhm.
Um, but so that art flavor has always been there. Then in high school, I was always curious in drawing um, and painting, and then I picked. I actually didn't pick art for my GCSE. I picked design technology, but then I found that so boring that I transferred over to art. And then from there, it just evolved. I got my teacher, luckily and thankfully, picked up that I was very curious, and my art kind of differed from other people. So he's the one who actually introduced me to Salvador Dali.
Wow.
And from there, it was just like, oh my God, who's this person? It kind of reflected my work. And
Mm.
then once I saw his, it was just, the father.
Mhm.
And it just transpired my work, and it was a constant theme. He was my idol, still is. And just dream one day to paint like that.
Yeah. I guess what's that about Salvador Dali that you've
Mm.
learned, or the most, or that's really taken you into that space of awe about him? What is in particular is it?
I think it was the perspective that he just didn't see what the average person saw. He was able to, you know, create an illusion. He was able to use rocks to create a person, and just that direction of using various things to shape or symbolize, using symbols to create an image. Or, just wanted to show people that there's different ways to look at things. That's what I got from there, and just the curiosity of him, his self-exploration, his mind. It just bended from the norm, which is, stand not at that time in when I was studying, a lot of portraiture. Um, he just stood out, just like an anomaly, and I was just like, wow. And I think at that time I remember I was doing an artwork on religion, and I had a handpiece with a key in there, and instead of the cross of Christ, it was a key, and the whole theme was that religion is the key. And just having someone
Mm.
out there that, oh wow, that this person I can relate to, it's
Yeah.
similar in some way. It was just like, wow, someone understands me, and maybe I understand him.
Yeah. Wow, one beautiful. So that happened quite early in your life, I guess.
Yeah, I
And
think 14, 15.
yeah, yeah. Wow, amazing. Have you so it seems like you've stuck with and continued like developed since then. So it's like stayed state of your process, or has there been any gaps or pauses
Mm.
in between?
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I didn't come up with the idea and theme of what I've got running now, which is called the Faceless Man. Then it was just painting. I used to paint everything and anything, Scarface, Tupac, the old portraits, and just to keep up the theme of me painting well and understanding painting. And I used to go to exhibitions and museums, and then I went to university. I studied sociology away from art.
Yeah.
But somehow I still, on the weekends, managed to paint. I was still curious about painting. I remember I went to one specific art show, and I remember taking my old iPhone there and showing artists my painting and just asking for feedback. And there was one artist, Ben Levy, and he told me that it's great you paint, but there's he gave me good constructive feedback, and he said, but there's no story, you're painting everything and anything.
Mm.
And I just took that and, created that. And I said, okay, well, what am I really interested in? I'm interested in the mind. I'm interested in development, self-development, mindset. I'm interested in meditation, mindfulness, music. And then I created this face with headphones.
Mm.
I was in a club actually. I was actually in Germany, Dusseldorf.
Oh, really?
There's the Sensation White Party.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And I had a big face staring at me,
Mm.
and that's when the whole idea just came, and
Wow.
it just evolved from there.
Yeah. Amazing. Like what this story now just brings to the front of my mind is just how sometimes the greatest ideas, they come to you in the most unexpected moments, right? And just as we're living life.
Yeah, exactly. I was definitely living life, and
Right.
it was probably 3, 4 in the morning that the idea struck in my head.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just this gigantic face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really amazing. And tell me more about that face, actually, that concept about it. And yeah, tell me more about that.
And that evolved over time. It wasn't just a face that I
Mm.
saw it and it came up like that. And it was like, okay, well, wow, this face looking at me, I was questioning myself and just a few things. And then over time, I kept going back to the drawing board, and then out sparked, I was very into meditation then and still am. And, I was meditating quite a lot more then actually. And just diving deep into myself. And then I created this concept. I was really interested in music. I was always listening to music, and the headphones wasn't just a connotation of music. It was deeper than that. The fact that you put headphones is the fact that you're listening. So that
Mm.
was a key element to me, and it wasn't just listening to the self, but listen to life and others around you.
Mm.
So then that I added that, and then the face was, it's not about the face. It's not about eyes, nose, mouth. We've all got that. It's about diving deeper into that. Well, what's going on past the self, and that's where, on a therapy level in psychodynamic or psychotherapy, there's unconscious levels, or on another side, through CBT, there's core beliefs.
Mm.
So there's a belief system behind that face, and that's what I'm trying to evolve and trying to bring up. What belief is what's going on for people, and using symbolizers to get there.
Yeah.
Symbolism.
Yeah. Amazing. That's I love how you've gotten to that, and what all of that means as well. I'm on your website right now, and in the background here, I've got one of your paintings, and yeah, the face basically has a book in front of the face, and then there's glasses on top of it, and the turban and the butterflies. Do you want to share what this, or do you actually, the question then is like, do you share about what your paintings mean, or do you just not share that and let the people just decide that for themselves? Like, what's your process with that as well? Because I don't want to touch into anything where you're like, oh, I'd rather not share.
No, no, it's a very important question. I'm very open in how I got there. I think in the captions, in most of on my website, there is a caption. I always write a caption. And so in most of them, there's a story. Let's see. If you go into that caption, Maria, there might be a. Let me try going the picture.
Yeah, so it's actually like it's on the first page, and it's just scrolling down. It's like the banner, and
Okay, let's see.
I don't see.
Okay, I think actually, yeah, okay. That one got you. That was actually a commission piece.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, so that's also what I'm involved in now as well, which is commission work, and
Mm.
that's the idea of using the Faceless Man, um, the theme, the theme.
Mm.
So for this particular client, it was a surprise 50th birthday for her husband. So with this, we chose a turban. He's very interested in the religion Sikh.
Mm.
So again, all symbolism. So what we got is a book. He's very involved in reading.
Yeah.
He actually wears glassing, and that was
Right.
introspection through reading.
Yes.
He's a Liverpool fan, and on the bird of the Liverpool, he's actually in. He's actually judging a scale because he was a lawyer.
Mm.
Within the butterflies, there's a glove. In the last one, there's a glove there, and that's something memorable that she passed on to him. Was a
Mm.
Muhammad Ali picture. And on the left-hand side of the book is an image of Punjab in India, which is an area, and I mean a state. And in that state, you got what we call it's like a village.
Mm.
So that's memories for him, and there's bullet holes in that because there's a history to that.
Oh.
So that's all an evolution involvement of his.
Yeah.
And this client actually sent me a very beautiful message and video, and he was saying that it's not usual for him to get a tear, but this
Mm.
painting brought a tear to him because it
Mm.
told a story that everything in his life, which in a flash got onto a canvas.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's really beautiful how you've just explained that, and I can totally see how that would have touched the soul, because it's
Mm.
like, you know, almost like his personality, but also his life experiences, backgrounds, and things that mean a lot to him all in one.
And I
Yeah,
think that
that's beautiful.
that's the key. And I think some clients, for instance, I've had some clients who are very interested in the process. I sat down with them, and I don't think they thought it would be as deep as it would.
Yeah.
So I'd had to sometimes with some clients go back and uh, and get them. I had to tell them maybe you got to go home and think a bit more deeply, and then we'll come back together and get back to the drawing board because you are picking yourself apart, and you've got to explain yourself maybe in some ways that you maybe not thought about.
Mm. Yeah. So even the process of actually arriving to that image
Mm.
is a process with the client that you have, and
Mm.
kind of like really, yeah, having a process of introspection with those
Yeah,
conversations that you have to then reach to those
yeah.
images. Beautiful. And also it's like how powerful paintings are, right? Like how they, just looking at a painting, the emotions or the feelings or the, yeah, what it evokes is like the saying of like an image speaks 1,000 words, or I would say even more, like things that we might not consciously see or understand. So that's truly powerful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, pleasure. So and looking at your other paintings, of course, like,
Mm.
or which one would be like, is your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. I actually do. Let's see. It's probably called. Let me see. Actually, might be. Yeah, it's going to be on this. It's going to be on. So if we go to home
Mhm.
and we scroll down all the way down to celebrity reactions,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and then we go to one. Which did I put? I hope I put one.
Oh, Boris Brecha. Wow. Is that the one?
No, I didn't put it on it, but it's actually. I thought I updated it, but yeah, I haven't. So this actually it combines with this story. So if we scroll down a bit on Black Coffee, uh, it's just after Boris
Yeah.
Brecher.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So that was
Oh
actually
yeah.
yeah. So there's a picture of me, Black Coffee, and my friend Mario, Bad Box, who's a DJ.
So good.
Um, so I got through to. I mean, I pestered and stalked Black Coffee. That, I've always wanted to do. He's a South African DJ
Mm.
producer and
Amazing.
Grammy artist and really huge. But before that, I was just really interested in music, Afro, deep tech house. Um, just his musical sets and just it was just amazing, and it did add and it did help me through my art journey as well. Listening to that music genre of music. So I've always knew deep down that I wanted to do a painting for him, just reflect something. So I created a painting called The Spiritual Flavor of Black Coffee. Um, so it's someone drinking coffee and out emerges black coffee.
Yeah.
That was the first painting. And the second one, um, I wanted to touch something quite deep, which was the roots.
Mm.
Um, so I got into the whole African spiritual flavor, spirit of elephants and the ancestral, the tree. And through that, he introduced me. Thankfully, I got in touch with black coffee after many, many attempts. And he got me into touch with this chap called Mario. So I went to visit him, and then we became friends, and he introduced me to black coffee. And then I wanted to just do a piece just to say thank you. So I created a piece for him, and it was just several different portraits and a sunset. It was just mind blowing. Unfortunately, it's on my Instagram, but I haven't got it here.
Is it the one that I'm seeing here? The one with yeah, the elephants, the mask that's to the side, black coffee in the middle, the headphones. Is that the one
Yeah,
you're talking about?
that's the one I done for black coffee. But on my Instagram, on the first page, it'll be the second picture.
Oh, okay.
It's me and my friend Mario holding the artwork.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
I'm there now as well.
it's like got your yellow strikes in the
Yes.
background.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my
Amazing.
favorite piece actually because of the journey.
Mhm.
It was the journey that I met such a lovely person and his family, and just over there how friendships evolved, and yeah, this piece was a monumental piece for me, and I think it would be because of the journey and how long the process of everything.
Yes. Beautiful. Wow, that's amazing.
Mm.
And I love how you combined your passion with the electronic and techno or house music or and the
Yeah.
DJs into your
Mm.
work and have created some amazing moments there as well. And obviously have really touched their hearts or their minds as you are
Yeah.
as
And I
well.
think also is that when you do stuff like, which I really do love, sometimes just gifting someone some art pieces, it touches something really deep within me. And not only do they have art, but they've got a part of me, as you paint. And I guess the other creatives in self is that, when you're doing things with passion and love, you're not just doing things, you're giving your energy, your time, your space, every part of you in there. It's a whirlwind of a journey. You're going through emotions when you paint, and
Yeah.
battles and all these things while you paint.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I guess then what's your favorite and most the part about being an artist and doing
Mm.
what you do, and you've obviously shared a little bit already, but what do you feel is the most amazing part about it for you, like
Mm.
that brings you most joy or purpose or meaning in this of being an artist?
I think a couple of things. I think one, it's I go into a space for myself. I go into a comfortable. Well, when the painting is going well, it's comfortable. Just go into a nice, comfortable space, just me and the painting and the canvas. Shut away from the world. Um, and then the second thing is that I'm in the driving seat. I can paint what I want, and I get to just share something with the world. Especially that's because of Instagram. That's possible.
Mm, yeah, yeah, no, that's beautiful. And so if you were to want to share something with other artists who are, let's say, starting out or thinking, maybe even thinking, oh, they're not creative or they're not born to be an artist, but they have it within them, but they just don't see it. What would be something, a part of wisdom or sharing that you might have for them?
Um, I think a key thing is believe in yourself. Um, whether you paint a great piece or you don't paint a great piece, you believe that it's your art and that's what you wanted to do. Um, you know, it's about consistency. It's about just doing it, continuing, and just be happy with what you're doing.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's true. It's actually, we can simplify it a lot more, right? Yeah, wonderful. So, and tell me a little bit more about like your background. How is that you're a psychiatric nurse as well.
Yeah.
How is that maybe overlapping or feeding this your art, or yeah, tell me more about about that and what it's given you, and I guess.
So I work in a field called psychosis, with a team called Early Intervention Team for Psychosis. And, we work with patients on a severe end of mental health, and, we support patients up to 3 years. And it's, I really love the job. You meet various different individuals, different scenarios and life experiences. And, you know, it gets you in touch to connect with people differently, gets you curious about what's happened in their life and how you can support them. And also in reflection, when you go home, how grateful you are just to be in a safe space, and and having that time to reflect on certain things. So through our work, I've been able to be more open in mental health and understand mental health, understand my own mindset, having a space where I can relax, meditation and mindfulness, and music, for me to let go. So these are all 5 things which I concentrate in my art work, and also for my work life, which I've noticed.
Yeah. Can you share with us what psychosis is? Because there might be some who have heard it but don't really understand what it really means.
Mm. I think in short, it's kind of, a break from reality. Things necessarily don't make sense to you. So we can break it down into positive and negative symptoms. That doesn't mean it's good and great. That means that positive, which is added onto your life. You experience auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations, so you can hear things, see things, smell things, and usually, um, you may experiencing tactile hallucinations, which is feeling things, and a part of you may not feel the same. You may find it difficult to translate what you're thinking into speech. You may feel very low, depressed, not feeling the energy to do things, withdrawn, having strong beliefs that necessarily are not true. To these types of experiences, what
Mhm.
patients can present with.
Yeah. And what might be some of those things that trigger that?
It's different for many different people. What I've come across is, ultimately as well, it could be massive, copious amounts of stress. People are under huge amounts of stress that they are unable to kind of deal with, and it builds up over time. It could be family relations, work relations, a key monumental thing in their life that's happened, death, or various different things. It could be pressures of society, also coming from overseas, into a different country where maybe you're you feel you're the anomaly in sense of speaking differently, looking differently, um, you know, being of a different color, and also trafficking, loads of various different things. So stress, it could be family, biological, in the sense that, schizophrenia or bipolar may come from, someone in the family, maybe passed down in genes. Um, that's biological, environmental, and also drugs can play a part as well.
Mm.
Um, binges of maybe or long use of cannabis, cocaine, amphetamines. Um, yeah.
Mm.
These are some of the things.
Yeah, it's quite broad actually, like
Mm.
what it might be.
Yeah.
And just to kind of like, let's say somebody might be feeling this and noticing this about themselves, like what might be the first some support as you are right there,
Mm.
like what's the support that might be available, or also immediate,
Mm.
like that one could seek or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
should seek, like what do you think?
I think first point of call is always emergency services. and secondly GP, or present to A&E GP, and they will make a referral to the necessary teams, which may be us. And if you are involved in our team, it's a great team, and there's also community mental health teams. So there's massive support. There's a single point of access, which is a 24-hour mental health line, Mind. So there's various supports out there, and I think the support's only going to get bigger and bigger in mental health, and equally wanting it as the same as physical health.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you for doing this amazing work. Actually, it's so important, and for sharing this as well. I just thought, while you've touched on this, to know a little bit more about it, and we never know who this might reach and who might need to hear this. So, and I'm curious about like what maybe like from this as well, from your work, like what's I guess your biggest learnings on the journey. I mean, it's the work, but also you before your work, and like what you, I don't know if learning's the right word for it, but what are you taking most from it into your conscious awareness of? Let's strike.
I think that there's people out there that do really care. That's one. I think we get fueled by social media and a lot of things, and but I think out there are people who genuinely do care, and I think that once you do share something, that people can support you in. And I think also take back is to express gratitude. I don't think we do that as much, and I'm guilty of that myself, but trying to go back and just be grateful for maybe just the basic things even, and that's a big thing, because some people, especially within UK, necessarily don't even have that. So gratitude is a big thing, because once you start practicing that and just being okay that you've got certain things, I think the pressure just automatically just goes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It feels like you are really carrying that through, and as well that caring way of being, and I feel that through how you communicate here today, and with what you shared, like giving gifts, and how you love that feeling of giving gifts through your art, and so it feels like you're really practicing that in life as well. And I love that little that really important reminder of gratitude as well. I think, yeah, that's something we all can benefit from practicing more. So yeah, that's really amazing, the work that you do on all levels. How, in terms of like the overlap into your art, you started sharing, like what do you think would be, if anything, how that might feed your art in other ways as well that perhaps we haven't explored yet?
I think it gives passion, also, and it gives, through someone presenting unwell from my work, I can kind of understand some things, maybe put into a painting and then put it out there for someone else. Maybe that it would help them in releasing some anxiety or stress, so they don't get to that point of severe mental health. Maybe there's some artworks where I recently done one on let thoughts come and go. That could be an expression of anxiety for some people. That could be an expression of OCD, or just a constant intrusive thought. The idea of just putting on a paper plane and just letting it go. So through what I see, I can, I'm fortunate to kind of interpret it, that put that into a canvas and into add things, create things, and make a big meaning out of that. Hopefully maybe it might mean something to someone.
Yes, no, beautiful. There's so much therapeutic aspects to art, right? That it's so deep. I mean, as an art therapist myself, like I've seen just the most magical things happening through being in conversation with someone through the art that they're creating, and as you can see with the impact that you're making just by gifting the art to someone, and how that touches them, that creates immense transformation, actually. And yeah, That's beautiful, and I'm really grateful that you're doing this work and sharing that with us. And I'm now curious about just to know. I know you have a website where people can purchase your art as well,
Yep.
and I'm sure they may be able to contact you. What's the best way? I know there's Instagram, of course, but you tell me what's the best way to get in touch with you and how to purchase some of your art or have a commission created by you or
Thank you
anything
so
else.
much. And yes, it's www.indychonk.com. Instagram is Indy_Chonk. That's INDY_CHONK. And that's also my website, INDYCHONK.com. You can just add me on Instagram or my website and just email me. Open to help you find a great, perfect painting for your house, for
Yeah.
your room.
Amazing. Yes. No, absolutely. Well, I encourage everyone to go and check you out. If they don't already know you, go and check out. The links are under this podcast episode anyway. So the website is there, your connection to Instagram, and
Yeah.
you're doing an incredible work. I love it. Like, it definitely makes me think and wonder, like, what it might mean. And I think it's very thought-provoking and powerful. And so yeah, I encourage everyone to go and check it out. And yeah, do you have any events coming up or anything in particular that also is important to share? Then feel
Nothing at the moment. I'm working on some big pieces which I really, really need to complete. So I've just been focused on that. Trying to set aside some time, especially during work and everything. And so hopefully I would come with some bangers, with some big, big pieces in and big art statements.
awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it. Absolutely looking forward to that. And yeah, so I thank you so much for coming today, like I mentioned already. And we definitely will stay in touch, and hopefully.
Well,
And yeah, thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And, it's been a great honor. And this podcast was amazing. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I'll press stop.